Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. As we finish up our divisional future odds updates here at sportsbookreview.com, we're taking a look at some of the NFC West divisions, and right now taking a stop on the NFC West, which looks to be what it could be another big year for this division, as 3 out of the 4 teams won at least 10 games last season. However, a lot of big changes, and it could be a change in the guard as well. But we'll start it off with not only the divisional champion, but the former Super Bowl champion, the Seattle Seahawks, who come in at plus 130 from Bovada Sportsbook to win this division. And even though they are slightly overpriced, I still think they could be a solid wager, but losing 11 players on both sides of the ball is really going to hurt this team's chances of repeating as Super Bowl champions. They have a pretty young secondary and not as much depth in that area outside of Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and Richard Sherman. A lot of the depth that they experienced last season in the secondary is gone. It's going to be interesting to see which young guys are able to step up for this team, but if they lost some pass rushing as well, and if they can't pressure the quarterback and create some turnovers through the air, they're going to be very difficult to repeat what they did last year, especially as a 13-win team. So plus 130, I'm not quite sure if it's the value you're looking for at this current point in time. Now the 49ers coming right behind them at plus 140. Now they've had to deal with some running back injuries recently, take a hit to their depth on that side of the ball. Of course, Kendall Hunter tore his ACL. He'll be out for the season. He was a solid backup running back. He was looked to be the prime backup to Frank Gore this season. Of course, LaMichael James also just injured his elbow, and he looks like he's going to miss the rest of training camp, likely most of the preseason as well, which leaves rookie Carlos Hyde and the newly uninjured Marcus Lattimore, who's never played an NFL game either. So a lot of inexperience behind Frank Gore. If he were to go down, it could be bad news for this 49ers team, and it could really hurt their divisional future odds at plus 140 as well. Now the Cardinals come in as the next highest favorite. There's a huge drop-off from the Seahawks and 49ers to the next two teams, the Cardinals and Rams, who both have the same future odds at plus 700. The Cardinals, really, their big question coming up into this season is their middle linebacking position. Of course, they let Carlos Dansby walk. He's now gone. Darrell Washington, of course, has been suspended for the entire year. That was another huge blow for this club. Now they're going to look at his second-year Kevin Minter, as well as a very veteran Larry Foote to man the two middle linebacking positions for the Arizona Cardinals. Really should be their Achilles heel in this season, and if they can't really perform up the middle, the Cardinals are going to have a very hard chance getting back to 10 wins, even though I do think they still have a very exceptional football team. So at plus 700, I was a little more excited about it earlier in the offseason, and I think that has faded a lot since then. The St. Louis Rams, as I mentioned, come in also at plus 700. They're a team that really no one's paying attention to this offseason and really looking good here in the summer, especially on offense, and Sam Bradford looks to be gaining his stride according to some reports out of Rams camp. If he can lead this offense all the way to a potential divisional championship, that would be a huge win for this St. Louis organization, a very, very young football team. However, they're not going to be that hard. They're going to be hard to beat this season. Their defense is very, very good. Of course, their front seven gathered up a lot of sacks last season. If their young offense can put things together, Bradford can stay healthy, this team has a lot of upside. Bradford was on pace for 32 touchdowns last season before he got hurt. Don't underestimate the St. Louis Rams. But that'll do it for me this time. Make sure you check out my other divisional future odds updates here at Sportsbook Review. But until then, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.